It went from stay home for 2 weeks to flatten the curve to don't go to the lake for Labor Day, don't go to a barbecue, don't go anywhere unless you're fully vaccinated.
CDC is warning unvaccinated people against travel this holiday weekend, fearing a surge in new cases as a new variant is being monitored.
As you know, Labor Day weekend is the end of summer, but it's still going to be probably another month and a half until the cold weather kicks in most parts of the country. But by then, if you haven't taken the vaccine, you probably won't be allowed in a grocery store, and the establishment is certainly going to try to cancel Christmas.
We skip Christmas?
You won't hear about this in the mainstream media, but people in France have had enough of the coronavirus vaccine passports. They don't want Big Brother breathing down their neck, forcing them to scan every time they step out their front door, or else they're not allowed to go into any stores or do anything. There have been ongoing protests there for 2 months now, and over the weekend, protesters stormed a shopping mall and caused the police to retreat. They're not the only ones out protesting, however. Here in America, doctors are protesting.
Just moments ago, more than 75 doctors staged a walkout to protest the number of COVID patients coming to the hospitals who have not been vaccinated.
Maybe people can't get treatment at that hospital because the doctors are out protesting instead of caring for their patients. Others say that even if you're fully vaccinated, if you traveled this Labor Day weekend, you should have gotten tested before you left, and when you return, you need to get tested again.
If you want to go out and travel, try to pay attention to where you're traveling to, what community transmission and vaccination rates look like when you're there. Make sure your entire group is on the same page. Who you're traveling with, who you're going to go see regarding vaccines, masks, and that stuff. And last but not least is get tested before you go. And when you come back, get tested again.
Speaking of getting tested, Candace Owens has been doing a lot of traveling, and some of the venues that she attends demand proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test in order to allow entry. And so she's been getting tested on a regular basis. That is until one healthcare facility canceled her appointment and said that they're not going to allow her to get tested because she's Candace Owens.
She got this letter from the owner of the testing site, a woman who called herself Susanna Lee. Quote, "I'm going to refuse this booking and deny service. We cannot support anyone who has proactively worked to make this pandemic worse by spreading misinformation, politicizing, and discouraging the wearing of masks and actively dissuading people from receiving life-saving vaccinations."
And if you're not vaccinated and you happen to catch the coronavirus, CNN's Don Lemon doesn't want you to have any treatment at all.
If you're not going to get vaccinated, you don't want to social distance, you don't want to wear a mask, then maybe you don't want to go to the hospital when you get sick. I know that sounds harsh, but you're taking up the space for people who are doing things the right way. And I just think if you don't want to play by any of those rules and then all of a sudden you end up in the hospital, I feel bad that but maybe you shouldn't go and take up the resources from someone else.
What about people who have a heart attack from obesity? They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't cut out the junk food and limit their portions or exercise a couple days a week. I guess Don Lemon and those doctors at that hospital, which walked out in protest, are just going to start denying them health care as well. Or what about AIDS, Don? That's another infectious disease that could easily be avoided by not doing certain things. I guess you don't want them to have medical treatment because they didn't listen to basic medical advice or common sense. On second thought, liberals don't really have a problem with people spreading AIDS. Democrat Congressman Scott Wiener, who's a member of the LGBT community, proposed a bill which became law in California, reducing the penalty of somebody knowingly spreading AIDS from a felony down to a misdemeanor. So now it's basically just like them getting a parking ticket or jaywalking. In other news, boxer Oscar De La Hoya, who is fully vaccinated, has contracted COVID-19 and not only had to cancel his upcoming boxing match, but he's hospitalized as well and says that it's kicking his butt. This is very unsettling, not only because somebody fully vaccinated has been hospitalized, but this means that old Joe, the supposed president, has been spreading misinformation.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
And again, to be clear, I'm not trying to discourage you or anybody from taking the vaccine. I'm not encouraging it either. I don't give medical advice. As a media analyst, and I have a bachelor's degree from California State University, by the way, I'm just sifting through all of the information to show the flip-flopping, the hypocrisy, and the insanity. One thing I will tell you to do, however, is to order one of my shirts. And today's the last day you can get free shipping on anything in the US by using the promo code Labor Day at the checkout. One word. So head on over to markdice.com and order your Arrest Dr. Fauci shirt. your I Love Global Warming shirt, your Trump Was Right shirt, or any of my awesome designs. Enter the promo code Labor Day at the checkout to get free shipping in the U.S. and check them out.